Hi guys, how many of you watch horror movies? Which is the most scariest horror movie you ever saw? And let me know what you think. I find The Shining a very scary movie because it was very depth and it made you scared to go in a hallway because there were two little ghost girls in it and they were scary. Now, The Shining is a very scary movie because it's about cabin fever. Cujo is about a rabid dog. It's not that scary. I can handle Cujo. Here are 5 spooky incidents that people reported after watching horror films. Cinema is a brilliant form of art. The way story is brought to life for the silver screen is amusing. But what happens when a form of cinema costs people their life? What if one show changed their life forever? And yes, we are talking about horror films. What most of us need a company to watch films. Some people really enjoy watching horror films, and then there are people who are faint-hearted and still risk their lives to watch a horror film. So, okay, this is 5 spooky incident that happened when people were watching a horror film. Number 5. A 20-year-old woman got hysterical and started punching herself after watching Annabelle. A viral video that is doing rounds on the internet shows a Brazilian woman filmed screaming and coughing on the floor of a shopping mall. The video has all her friends try to unsuccessfully pacify her. That is one scary incident. Daily Mail reported a woman started punching herself in the face as she left the cinema on Friday, August 18th. She was rushed to a nearby theater. Okay, that's number 5. Yes, that is one incident that could happen. Now, folks, if you watch a horror movie and you feel that it's going to affect you like that, after reading that, don't watch horror movies if you feel you're faint at heart and you can't handle them. And I don't know why this 18-year-old or 20-year-old woman watched the movie after she knew it was going to affect her. So I think the theater had a right to turn it off. Everyone was watching it. But the woman could have just gone home and said, I'm going to leave. She had that opportunity. But if she felt it was going to affect her like that, it's probably not the best to watch a movie if it's going to do that. Number 4. After a man dies watching a late night show at Conjuring 2. His body went missing right before post-mortem. Yes, the 65-year-old man was watching The Conjuring 2 with a friend while during one of its scary scenes and started complaining of chest pains. No later fainted at the Sir Balasubramaniar Cinema in Trivandrum in South India. The man passed out and could never recover. He was declared dead. He was an Andhra Pradesh native and was then rushed to the old government hospital. His body went missing after hospital staff asked the man's friend to take the body to the Trafalgar Government Medical College Hospital for post-mortem. Reports later claimed that his body and his friends both went missing. Sometimes people experience certain symptoms after watching a horror movie, and he had heart complications probably, and he died of fright. And if a movie is that scary and someone could die watching a horror movie, then maybe horror movies aren't good to watch if you're that scared. And that was during the devil's hour. I guess horror movies have that effect on people. Would I watch a horror movie at 2 a.m? No, because I need my sleep. In 2010, a student of Class 8 passed away during screening of free back-to-back horror films in his hostel. A toll report claims the incident happened at Markavaza village, the outskirts of Visakhapatnam, where M. Prabhakar, a student of class VII, was among the 500 inmates of AP Tribal Welfare Residential School watching a horror movie during recreation hour at the hostel. The film include Blood Ghost, Aliens, and Atmakhafa, and were screened back-to-back till early morning. Prabhakar went to loo at 11:30 p.m. and came out screaming in shock. He collapsed in the common room, and other students failed to notice it was late. The other kids tried to wake him up and failed. Students called 108 service, and he was then rushed to King George Hospital, but was sadly declared brought dead. That's so sad. That person is so young to die, that someone that young could die just by watching a horror movie. Boy, horror movies have serious effects on people, and we're talking about incidents that's happened. I don't even watch horror movies at 2 a.m, but staying up all night watching them would not help and make your mood even worse. If you have mood swings, do not watch them at night. They don't help. I have watched horror movies at 12 a.m, and then I couldn't walk in a dark hall. I had to have a light on. I was scared to even walk out my bed in the dark to wonder what's going on. I had to have a light on. I can't walk in a dark hallway at night in the dark after watching horror movies. I guess it had that effect. The first time my experience with a horror movie is when I watched The Candyman for the first time. I was living in the Glebe then. It was a very scary incident. I was watching The Candyman. I fell asleep on the couch, and it was late at night. I watched it, by the way, which did not help. After watching The Candyman, I could not sleep for a week. I had to wait till my dad went to bed. I was so scared. I had to go in my dad's room. I was so scared to even go in my room. I felt really like the Candyman was watching me. I couldn't pee in the dark. I couldn't have the lights off in the dark. I couldn't walk in the dark hallway. I was even scared if I chanted the Candyman 5 times in the mirror that he would appear watching me. He's kind of scary. And that was the first time I saw the Candyman, and then I was scared to fall asleep, and I could not watch it. It scared the living bejesus out of me. Guys, if you're gonna watch a horror movie, make sure you do not fall asleep on the couch. That is not a good idea. Here's another one. Number 4. Well, number 4. Number 3. A 42-year-old Taiwanese man named Kuo passed away due to extreme excitement while watching Avatar. Now, for those of you, Avatar is considered one of the finest works of world cinema, but cost a healthy 42-year-old man Kuo his life in 2010. Kuo had a history of high blood pressure while watching the film, and his heart started pounding so hard that he suffered a stroke. Ushers took him to the nearby hospital, was declared dead due to massive brain hemorrhage. And that is the effect of the movie Avatar. But how can Avatar cause someone their death? I heard that movie would never kill anyone, but this guy Cool died because of Avatar. I never watched Avatar. I don't even want to watch Avatar. And now I heard this. I don't know if I want to see that movie. In 2014, 57-year-old Gina Frost admitted that he had horrifying hallucinations and post-traumatic stress disorder for 40 years after watching The Exorcist. That is a very scary movie. It's about a possessed little girl who's 12. She revealed that she was suffering vivid and horrifying hallucinations after watching a horror film at the cinema with her ex-boyfriend. She was deeply affected and scared by macabre visions of rats running up her walls and several scary sights she had locked released in 1973. She chose to hide from fear and condition from everyone close to her. In her claim, she said that the film left her with post-traumatic stress disorder. And for those of you who don't know what PTSD is, it's a type of disorder that if something horrifying happens to you, or you've been experienced a traumatic event, or has witnessed a crime or any kind of violent environment, then you would get PTSD, because PTSD runs into stress. It's a very disturbing kind of stress, and it doesn't really go away. You have to talk to someone if you have it. I didn't know horror movies cause it. Well, any kind of stressful environment causes PTSD. That lasted for past 4 decades. Even through she claimed that she was on speedy road to recovery from her condition. She thinks she would never be able to watch a horror film ever again. So maybe she shouldn't, because this is what happens when you watch a horror movie. Now, those are all the reasons why people find horror movies disturbing. Have any of you ever experienced any creepy thing happen during a movie? Let me know.